I'm a bit busy planning the grift.
Presenting our newest mark, Mr. Rex Kennedy. Seen here returning to Britain for the first time since emigrating to Melbourne, Australia in 1987. He left behind his wife and 2 children, and a year after his departure, his wife passed away, leaving the children.
What, is this some kind of joke to you?
Anything but.
Albert, what are you doing?
Presenting our mark and possibly clearing the air as well.
If you've made up your mind to con him, Sean, we would assume it was done professionally. That means we do it as a team. It also means that for the duration of the con, the mark's a mark, like any other. That way, maybe you won't have to reflect on all this from inside a jail cell.
We're gonna con their dad.
If everyone's in agreement.
Well, who knows? Maybe he'll get things out of his system.
So if we are all agreed, Mr. Kennedy is now a respected businessman in his adopted home of Melbourne, from where he directs a very successful property developing company and also has an extensive portfolio throughout Australia and on several sites in Europe and one in London. That's all I have so far.
That's okay, Albert. We'll get to know our mark better while we're in the grift.
Hang on. And this is still my grift. If you guys want to help, that's great. But I'm calling the shots on this one.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I might need a drink.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How many of you have heard of the global...
Sorry, hang on a minute. Probably best if I don't hear this. Don't want to get hauled up as an accessory before the fact if it all goes a bit pear-shaped, you know what I mean? That's no reflection on you, though, Sean.
Nah.
I'm sure it'll all go very smoothly.
Thank you for your vote of confidence, Eddie.
Yeah, and maybe later we could celebrate your first grift with a refreshing bottle of expensive champagne.
Okay. Like I was saying, how many of you have heard of the global recession? Most of you? Okay, good. Then you can tell me what gets hit hardest in a recession.
Long-winded narrators.
Property markets. You see, the smart money is selling. That's why the mark's in town. He's trying to offload a brownfield site near Croydon.
No. Not the treasure map.
Why not the treasure map?
Because it's expensive, it's open air, and that means there's a lot of variables.
We're doing the treasure map. All that stuff's been factored in, okay? Now, we're gonna make him think there's millions of pounds in gold and jewellery buried on that site.
Who buried it?
No one buried it. The plane it was in got shot down. Now, Rex has just fired his London estate agent.
How are you going to get the money out of Rex when he owns the land that the treasure's on?
Because when I get a cold feet, he's going to pay me off. Now, can I please get back to explaining the plan?
Rex has just fired his London estate agent.
Rex has just fired his London estate agent because he thinks he can do a better job himself.
Well, maybe you can deal with him directly.
Exactly. Ash, I want you to pose as the potential buyer.
The buyer, you should leave him back for later.
This is my grift.
Sean, Mickey's just trying to help.
Maybe it's best if you stay in the background for now. You're going to be pretty busy with the mural anyway.
On the whoa,
Mickey,
on the what?
You are going to be the surveyor. I see you as the gruff, take-no-prisoners kind.
A take no prisoners surveyor. Yeah, I know just the type.
Yeah, maybe you could base it on your say it how it is marine biologist.
Yeah. And Albert, well, I'm not going to need you to the beginning of next week when we're in the old people's home.
Intriguing.
Emma, I wasn't sure if you wanted to go $4,000 on this or...
Nope.
Probably don't. Okay. Listen up, gang. The year is 1940.
Well, that wasn't torturous or convoluted at all, was it?
Well, I think Sean's performing admirably.
Albert, the plan is far too complicated. There's a much
I
easier
admit
way.
it is on a bit of an epic scale, but to me that shows ambition.
Or delusional psychosis.
Yeah. About this mural. I'm thinking some kind of old advert. And big. The old military artifacts. You probably have to divide your time quite a bit.
I've always enjoyed the classic grift. Haven't you, my dear?
I hadn't really thought about it.
Of course, for a treasure map, there are 2 things that are required from the beginning. Map
Yeah, we'll probably have to mock one of them up and all.
And the treasure.
This bracelet was worn by a young debutante to Queen Charlotte's Ball in 1938. The last of the true seasons, I always feel. After the war, somehow things never seemed so grand.
Just beautiful.
Just what we were looking for.
I hate to part with it. It's something of a family heirloom, you see. Still, I suppose it was some other family's heirloom before my Auntie Edie palmed it from some posh pint in a tiara. Let's say 5,000.
Let's say 2, remembering you were going to collect on the insurance.
4.5, remembering that's not your concern.
Shall we say 3?
4.5. Before I start on about Christmas 1939, we had gas masks and tangerines in our stockings that year.
Give her the money. Give her the money.
Police. I've been mugged.
Teague Holdings are delighted you've accepted their offer. No, you won't have heard of them, Mr. Kennedy. They're new. Very go ahead. My client is anxious to move the contract as soon as possible. They'd like to send a surveyor along in the morning. Thank you. Goodbye.
What'd he sound like?
Like a bloke.
Yeah, but what type of bloke? Like a dodgy bloke or a bit of a tip bloke?
Didn't reach firm conclusions on a 3-minute phone conversation. You'll find out what he's like soon enough.
Mr. Kennedy, Damien Carr. I'm Mr. Teague, surveyor.
Hi.
Morning, morning. Yeah, I think we're looking at a 25-acre site.
I assumed someone from Teague Holdings would be coming along.
Far too busy, mate. Far too busy. Sorry, could you move to your right, please? What? Is he with you?
Can we help you?
You realise you're trespassing, mate?
Was I?
Look, I'll deal with this.
What's in the bag?
What bag? Oh, that bag? Sandwiches.
Oh, sandwiches. You hold this.
And a flask. Sandwiches and a flask.
Whatever you find on this land is the legal property of the owner.
I said I'll deal with
You
this.
should call the police.
It's hardly worth it.
Hardly. When Teague Holdings takes ownership, trespassers, like this one here, will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
What, you selling?
Yep. 3 weeks from now, work will begin in a much-needed insurance company HQ.
All right, well, don't suppose you'd mind if I carried on with the detecting, eh? Till you sell it? I mean, I just came across the site now, didn't I? How was I supposed to know I was trespassing?
There's a sign. Oh, bloody kids! Always knocking down my sign.
Well, I'll bang on then, shall I?
Off Mr. Kennedy's land now. He's leaving.
No. No, hang on. Hang on. He's going back. This is gonna work.
Okay, Sean, what have we learned about our mark?
He's a tosser.
What else?
Total tosser.
We were going to read him as we went along.
Yeah, I was. I didn't get past the tosser part. Come on. Come on. Yes, he's found the bracelet. He's got the treasure. See, I told you. I told you he would. This is going to go exactly like I said it would. Next, we'll plant the inventory. See the bracelets on there and pay me off so he can have all the treasure to himself.
Okay, look, he didn't like me taking the lead with you earlier. Wouldn't take the metal detector, wouldn't call the police. So, I think we're dealing with a man who doesn't like being told what to do.
What, yeah, you tell him to do something and he does the exact opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Remind you of anyone?